Hi everyone, sorry for the delay. Just give me one moment. I got a phone call just as I was getting ready to go live, so I didn't want to not talk with this person because she helps me sell my cards. So I needed to get with her and talk with her about inventory that she needs. So thanks for being patient. Hi, Lori. I made another alternate project, and I have another one in my head that I want to share with you with Paper Pumpkin, and show another one how you put it together based on the kit instructions. I just need to get to my group here and see if I can see my video, and hopefully the volume's turned down so we don't hear in stereo. So, all right, so I'm excited. I was very excited to have the Zoom group last night for those of you that were able to join, and I had every intention of hitting the record button to see if I could upload it here so that I could share all of the fun that we had. And we did. We probably crafted for a good hour and a half in between trying to deal with still working out the technical difficulties and learning how to spotlight people. And so when you were sharing, people were sharing their projects during the Zoom, we were able to spotlight them and we could see what they were making as alternate projects with the kits that I mailed out to everybody. So today I'm going to share 3 projects, and I'll go through the ones that I made last night, which include the ones as a kit instructs with a few oopses because I wasn't reading the directions, but that's okay as well. So thank you for being here, and if you're here watching live, that's great. If you are catching the replay, that is awesome too. So welcome. Hi, Lori. So I am just going to flip the camera. I don't have any announcements. All of you know that Celebration, tomorrow is the last day for Celebration. So place those orders so you can get that awesome free stuff that you like in the Celebration brochure. $50 qualifying order for the level 1 items and $100 minimum order for the level 2 items. So they're only available till tomorrow at the end of the day, so don't forget to check those out and place those orders. I'm just going to plug in my phone, so sorry, and I'm going to flip the screen and point you down. There's wires all over. Sorry, I got kind of a mess going on here. Let's see if I can get everything situated without too much craziness. Nope, dropped the phone. It's hard to do that when I'm not standing up. All right, so let's get this phone cord out of the way. All right, so let's go ahead. I'll show you some of the cards that we made last night. I'll save that one because we did that. I did that this morning or this afternoon. So there's this card, and I actually ended up adding a bow. In the instructions, we are to tie a bow, stick it underneath. It's supposed to be a big bow, and it hangs out from underneath that foil, the sentiment. However, I think it gets lost with all that gold. So a lot of us actually found that we like the reverse side that you can do different things with. So we're going to do something fun with that as well. And it's just plain on the inside. So just add that sentiment, couple of the adhesive backed sequence and all that stuff, and that's what one of the cards looks like in the kit. So that's the kit instructions. And this is another one. I forgot to angle my words. I kind of did them straight on. I didn't do any dimensionals, but I probably could have done that with the flowers, and that is that foil lined vellum. It's really pretty. That's another card as a kit instructs. And this one has to be my favorite as the kit instructs. I really love that big bouquet of flowers, and I'll always be here for you. I kind of smudged that, but that's okay. Crafting at night is definitely not something that I do very often because 1, the lighting in my room, and 2, it's very difficult for me my eyes go a little wonky. I don't know if that has anything to do with my pre-diabetes, but it very well could have something to do with that, but All right, so that is how the cards look as a kit instructs. And then I went ahead and made a couple more last night using some of the paper that I sent in your kits. So I used that Flirty Flamingo striped from the Flower and Fields Designer Series paper that's free with a $50 order during celebration. I took a stamp from the Punch Party, which is a stamp set through Celebration, but you have to either qualify with a workshop of at least $300 in a workshop order or a single order of your own, which is not impossible to do if you have the funds of $300, and you can get that Punch Party stamp set. It's this one right here. So the happy birthday came from that stamp set. So right here. And it coordinates with several punches in the catalogs. So I did that, and again, it's one of those card bases from the kit. Love the bouquet, really simple, added some rhinestones, stamped in, actually, this is so funny because the paper is Flirty Flamingo, and the card base is Rococo Rose, but it looks really good together. I didn't even realize that. So I stamped the flowers in Rococo Rose and Just Jade for the leaves. So there's one of those as an alternate. This is another alternate, which I do need to put a piece of basic white cardstock on the inside. But in your kit, again, you have samples of that Designer Series paper from the Flowers and Fields and some daisies. So I just stamped from the Lovely You stamp set, which is in the annual catalog, Cherished Friend, and kind of cut this piece in half, trimmed it a little bit, left a little bit of a yellow, the Daffodil Delight, actually it might be Bumblebee. I think this is Bumblebee cardstock. And of course the Artistry Blooms adhesive backed gems, just to add that color. I had a lot of help when I was creating last night from everybody that was watching, so I was pretty excited to get inspired by everybody's comments, and we were all kind of brainstorming with our alternates. It was pretty cool. Here's another one where I cut the card base down, and I believe this piece of paper, so I cut the card base in half, and then I cut the two pieces in half, so it's 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. And then I took that gold doily, which I don't have any left. Actually, I do, but I'm using it for a project. I took that and cut it in half, and then cut it in half again. Did not use the gold part, but instead used the white to make it look like a doily, and just added that sentiment from the Lovely You stamp set, a few sequins, which some of them keep falling off on me because I keep moving things. A few sequins, the adhesive back sequence, and I lost one somewhere, so I'll have to get another one. But I think I had 3 on there. And that is that one. Pretty simple. They really are super easy to put together. This was another one I created last night, and I pulled in that ribbon from the Fine Art product suite. It has those gold flecks, and of course the gold glitter enamel dots. I added some of those, used those floral images, some Just Jade cardstock measures 4 by 3, and that vellum piece that has gold. So the only place that I adhered this piece, the vellum, was underneath the Just Jade so that you didn't see the adhesive holding that down. And just added those flowers all with dimensionals, and stamped the back side of that because I didn't want the black trim. And that was that card. Love that. And I think this card I did this morning, and it kind of, Cheryl had mentioned this is that gold piece. There's the gold piece in full, but on the back side, it's white. So we were talking about using it as a stencil, and then Lori ended up making one using it as a stencil, and I absolutely loved how it turned out. So I'm going to show you how to do that with that foil piece, but I also took the remaining piece from the foil that I cut here, and I sponged on it, but I also sponged, and actually I didn't sponge, I used my blending brushes. So I literally took this and overlaid it on the back side of one of these pieces. Let me find it. So I had one of these yellow strips, so I flipped it over and used the back side of it to do some of that sponging as a stencil with my blending brush, and I did it with Rococo Rose. I stamped some flowers and the sentiment, and then just added some flowers that I had left in the kit. I think it looked really pretty on the front of this card, kind of softened up the background a little bit, and just added a little extra technique and texture to the front of the card. Another card that I created this morning, and I'm going to replicate it for you, is this one here. I also did that technique of sponging, I keep saying sponging, using my blender brush, stamped the floral image, created a double bow and stamped "For You," used bits and pieces of that foil, and I cut apart an envelope. So we're going to go ahead and make that right now with you. So the first thing I want to do is grab that doily. I'm going to have a seat because I certainly don't need to look at my phone when I have my iPad going. I just have to swipe and see my messages. Okay. All right. So I want to do this in Rococo Rose. So I'm going to pull in my large ink pad of Rococo Rose, and I am just going to tap it in there, and some parts you might want darker and some parts you might want lighter. It's really your preference. So if you come in and get some ink on there and you immediately go to your paper, parts of that they're going to be a little bit darker, okay? And you just want to keep coming in just around where you've already done your stenciling, just to fill in other spots. And it's nice to kind of give it an ombre effect with that stencil, because it just makes it so beautiful. I'm going to come in on this side, wipe some of that off so it's not so harsh. I think I want that flower to be a little darker. And you'll get some border from kind of being around, you know, because you kind of went off the edge there. It's okay. It adds a really nice texture to your Whisper White paper, or basic white. And this basic white is 3x4. It's just really pretty. Just gives it a really nice effect. Like so. I need a little bit more. I kind of moved my paper on myself. A little more over here. I think I want a little more over there, a little bit darker. And there you go. You have this beautiful sponged look on that just from using this. And you can use this totally for another project, either the gold side or this side here. I love it as a stencil. I think it looked really pretty last night when Lori made a card with it. So the next thing I want to do, now that I want to stamp in the Mary Merlot. I think it pairs really nicely with the Rococo Rose. I'm going to stamp those floral images. Actually, I'll do it this way. We got a large stamp there. Make sure we got some good coverage. Sorry if I'm shaking the camera. And I want to come in at a diagonal. So I'm going to put it where I think it's going to look really good on there. And there you go. You have that pretty floral image stamped on top of that background. So in a sense, you're creating your own designer series paper. Okay. So I also needed 2 strips of that gold foil, or the gold vellum, which this was the last piece I had. So I cut the gold borders. I'll show you it again. I cut these gold borders off of the vellum and just kind of set them aside so that I can use them on another project. So what I decided to do, now this is a little bit thinner, so if I want to cut this in half, I can do so. And I think I might. No, I think I'm going to leave it like that. So I want to add a little bit of Stamp and Seal to the top portion of that. I'm going to line this up and make sure that I come in and get it where I need it. So I lined that up with my grid paper so it's even on both sides. I'm going to do the same to the other side. Line that up so it's straight against my grid, and measure, I can not move my fingers, right along that line there. So I went from the 1/4 inch here to the 1/4 inch line there. And now we have that like so. Now I need to cut apart my envelope. I'm going to show you how to do that. And you really want to make sure that you're able to have enough paper here. So the first thing I did was go ahead and cut this flap off. Keep that. You can use that for something else, punching flowers or whatever. Measure out to 1/8 of an inch on each side so that you can cut that other flap off. You can keep this if you need to. Actually, I do need to do something with it, so I'm not going to get rid of that. And now we want to trim this down. And I want it to be 5 by 3 1/4. So you can already come in over here. And we're going to trim off all that white stuff on the sides. And what you want to end up with is 5 by 3 3/4. I have a piece of Mary Merlot cardstock for the card base, which measures 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. And I'm just going to use my stamp and seal. For the front of this, just to adhere those pieces. All right. On this piece, I want to use dimensionals, so find my dimensionals. And I'm going to use the ones that came in the kit. We really had a good time. I know it was like first time doing the Zoom with the Paper Pumpkin Club, but I am going to incorporate it into every month. It will be the last Friday of every month, so long as it doesn't interfere with anything we have scheduled as a family. If there is interference with a date that falls on the last Friday of a month, then I will readjust the time and pick a different date to do that. So, just something for you to remember. It will be the last Friday of every month. And really, it's just a matter of bringing your kit, inspiring each other to make some projects together. And I will do my best to make sure you have your alternate stuff, the coordinating product, to come in the mail prior to you, to us doing the Zoom on that Friday night. So I measured about 14 inches of the white baker's twine, cut it in half, and I'm just tying a bow with both pieces. That's how you make your double bow. And then just adjust that as needed to get the desired length of the loops and stuff that you want. And then you'll want to trim that if it's going to sit right. So maybe grab those pieces, my ribbon scissors, and just trim those to be the same length. And that is going to get a glue dot. And that's going to go right there where that bow is stamped on the flowers, like so. So you have that. And the next thing is to grab the sentiment from your paper pumpkin that says, I'll always be here for you. And this is what you want to do. That piece that you cut, you're going to grab again your Mary Merlot ink and a block. And I only want to ink the For You. And if that's a little bit hard for you, you can put your entire stamp in the ink, because what you can do is just go to the edge of your white envelope that's left, like so, For You. And you can hand trim it with your scissors, your paper snips, or you can come in with your paper trimmer, and we're just going to cut that off right about there. And now you have that little tag that says "For You." You can grab your dimensionals and trim a piece from your dimensionals to go on the back of that, which I need these scissors. It's very small, so you only need a little smidge of a dimensional, so you can just cut a piece off. It's probably too long. It will go on the back. And then that will just adhere. I have a little piece hanging off. That's going to just go right by the little bow that you created. Isn't that cool? And then you just put a piece of basic white on the inside. You could stamp a few more flowers if you so choose. Just to tie in the two pieces. Another thing you can do, here's what we'll do. I didn't think of that earlier. We will add that to the center, the inside of our card. Grab your envelope piece that you cut off. Trim off the piece that actually has like the score line in it and get rid of that. And then measure out to a 1/2 inch over here. And let's see if we're able to do this. Trim off just the white edges. It may not be long enough, so let's do it at 4 inches. So we have that border. And you can come in and add that to the inside of your card, just to tie in the paper that's on the outside. So it's a 1/2 inch by 4 from your envelope. Cool? Very nice. So there's that card. We also can, excuse my jiggling of the camera, we're going to build this one as it instructs, except I ran out of labels, so I am going to use a stitched rectangle die. This piece just gets adhered to the lower portion of the card, maybe about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom. This you'll do some stamping. This is going to lie on there, and you can either do that flush or you can use dimensionals. I am going to pop that up with dimensionals. And one more right there. Hi everyone. So if you did not get to see the Zoom yesterday, like I said, I meant to record it. So I'll get in the habit of doing that for the people that aren't able to attend in Zoom, so that you can chime in and watch it as a replay. But because I'm just learning, yeah, didn't work out so much. I'm going to actually set that there. So I'm going to find a sentiment that works for me. I haven't used this bigger sentiment. I'm not sure if it's going to work on there. Yes, it is. So we're going to use that. And usually this would go on the inside of a card. Excuse my reach. I am going to put it on this tag, and I am going to stamp it in Just Jade. Again, remember, these are photopolymer stamps. It's always a good idea to use your Stampin' Pierce mat when you are using your stamps to have that added cushion. I like the sentiment. Sharing in your sorrow, thinking of you, and wishing I could be there to hold your hand. You can see that it's a little lighter over there because I didn't use my Stampin' Pierce mat, but I think that's going to look really pretty right there. So we're going to add that just with some seal. you get glue dots in your kit, you definitely can use those for pieces like this. So there is, so it's really an alternate card because I did things a little bit differently. And I'd like to add some gems to this. So let's see if we have something that would look good with this. Definitely the in color gems would look really nice. I don't know if I want to add some bling or if I want to keep it those artistry blooms adhesive backed sequins. We'll go ahead and use some of those and just kind of scatter them around the card front. I'll use 3 of them if I can get my hands on it. Right there. So there you go. There is that card. Another alternate, sort of. And one more. Let's put these away. We'll do one more alternate card. So far, my kit, I believe that was card number 12. And the kit allows you, without extra supplies, to make 9 cards. So with the extra supplies you have, you definitely can make more. And don't feel bad about adding in different sentiments. Like if you don't want everything to be about, you know, sympathy and thinking of you, even though right now the way things are in the world, it's handy to have sympathy cards and thinking of you and all that stuff and get well and all that. So definitely you can incorporate stamp sets from previous paper pumpkins if you want to do it a little bit different. So this paper I absolutely fell in love with. It's part of that Flowers for Fields. Everybody got some of this that subscribes, and or if you're a team member, because I include my team in these paper pumpkin events in my club. I'm actually going to just take that piece. Your piece came at 6 by 4. I have trimmed this piece down to 5 1/4 by 4. And it's going to go on that Misty Moonlight cardstock that you have in your kit as well. So there's that. There's your card front. Let's go ahead and I am going to pull in the Blossoms in Bloom stamp set, because these stamps tend to remind me of the floral images in a sense. They're kind of got a watercolor wash to them. So I want to incorporate them in Misty Moonlight on a piece of my cardstock here. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do because I'm all out of the flowers that came in the kit. But if you have floral stamps, that is not a big deal. You can incorporate other stamps to help you create additional projects. The best thing about when all your consumables are gone in your kit, you can take those stamps from the kit and just build more, you know, create more projects because you have the stamp set and the ink spot. So you have plenty of room for continuous crafting. I guess that's what I want to say. So I want to make sure that this is going to fit. I have this piece of Whisper White is 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. I'm sorry, Basic White. I'll get the hang of that at some point. Probably when they change the name again. Anyway, I'm going to do some stamping, but the first thing I want to do, I want to show you how to do this. We went over this in the Zoom last night, but these stickers, of course, come in 3 different languages. Thinking of you. You want to, an easy way to do this is if you have press and seal, and I have to thank Rachel Tessman for her tips and tricks in her video, because her video, she shared a lot of helpful pointers for the paper pumpkin kit, and this was one of them. So this, when you hand cut out your Thinking of You, from the sheet of stickers, I want you to pull the negative off, and if you have press and seal in your kitchen, it is going to come in so handy for using this word, because normally, let me find one. I already threw out my other languages because I can't say it. I probably ain't gonna use it. when you pull just the words off, one, you have to be gentle, but you can see that the words, and I already ripped it, come off, and then you have to see the E is all wonky now. You have to reposition them to work well on your project. So if you're pulling the negative off and get all these little pieces, and be gentle, because I did ruin my first one, be gentle, just don't pull the letters up, just the little pieces on the inside. Take your pick tool, it will help you do that as well. You can just lift those pieces like so, hopefully. Or not. Or bend like that. That actually works better for me. And then just pop those out of there. Again, don't mess up your words. You don't want to pull those words off of there. And I'm going to do some stamping of those flowers like I was sharing with you, but I want to get this done and on my paper first. If I can get all these stickers off my fingers. One more. Okay, so now I will take my press and seal that I've already got ready to go, and I am going to lay that on my words. So when I peel that backing off, the words are already going to be the way I want them. So let's lift this off the table and gently lift this away with the words attached to the press and seal. Oh, I'm so grateful for Rachel Tussman teaching me this. However, so there you go. You have your words. Now I come in on my piece of basic white and I apply that sticker like so. And then gently peel off your press and seal, okay? And then you have your sticker adhered just the way you want it. And I came in at a diagonal, which is perfect. And now I want to add some of these flowers. So I'm going to grab my Just Jade and my Misty Moonlight. And we're going to try and add a few of these pretty flowers onto, because they coordinate with the flowers in a sense on this designer series paper. They're a little different, but it's okay. But it's just going to tie in that sentiment piece to the front of the card, the designer series paper on the card. I'm just going to do one more half stamped off right there. And I think that looks good. So we'll close this ink pad and grab our Just Jade and some leaves. We have a leaf stamp in that set. And I don't know if I want to do the bigger leaf. I think I want to do the bigger leaf right here. So let's get rid of this. And that can go in Just Jade. Now these are distinctive stamps. They actually create a variegation of color because it's kind of want that watercolor wash look. And even if I'm just adding a little bit of green, of the green tone, just to give it a little added zhuzh of color. So that's pretty, turned out good. And because I'm going to be hiding so much of my designer series paper, which is sad, but it's still beautiful. You see how that just kind of makes it pop and give it a little bit of wow. So I also incorporated in your kits the black shimmery ribbon. I just got to find it. I'm not sure that's what it's called, but this ribbon that has the glitter in it, you can incorporate that on here somewhere. Not sure where. You can tie a bow, use that. I also gave you a piece of the Just Jade ribbon. This one here. You also could do some fun stuff with that. Maybe you want to tie a bow and add it, or just do a little knot of some sort. Let's see what we can do with this. Just do a little knot. I'm going to angle the ends like so. And if you tie a knot like that and don't tie it too tight, you can come in here and just add it. It would be like a corner. It would border a corner. So I think that might look good right there, or even on the white itself. So let's get a glue dot or two. And first of all, let's add this to the card front. I'm going to add this on with dimensionals. And trim these. A lot of dimensionals, sorry. I'm just using the rest of the sheet. And peel those off. Facebook's having some issues because I keep seeing that like a repetitive so-and-so is watching, so-and-so is watching, so-and-so is watching. I don't know what the deal is with that, but okay. There's that. Make sure it's in the center. Looks good there. I'm going to come in with that bow that is sitting on my lap that almost fell on the floor. And a glue dot. And I'm going to add it right up here. And it's going to probably blend in a little bit, and I might even put another glue dot down on this side so that it stays put. Like so. And what else can I find to put on here? Some rhinestones of some sort. I think the center of the flowers need something, but I'm not sure what. So, as I reach, we got some black background. I'm going to grab these black matte dots, or better yet, your black sequins that came in your kit would work perfect. If you know where they are. I was having that issue last night, not knowing where I was putting stuff. Yeah, don't ever hesitate to cut your envelopes if you have other envelopes that you can use, like if you've ordered envelopes or whatever. We're just going to use the matte dots because I'm not sure where my sequins are at the moment that came with my kit. Because they, I lost my train of thought. I don't know what I was saying. It's okay. Oh, if you have extra envelopes, like if you've purchased envelopes in the past, feel free to cut the envelopes down, because your envelopes have decorative paper on the inside, and you can totally use them for something different. So there you go. There is my alternate number. I don't know how many, but these are the cards I shared with you this afternoon. And I hope that you find this paper pumpkin kit and the extra goodies that I sent you inspiring to use and create additional projects. So, and again, remember, pull in some stamps from previous paper pumpkins and, you know, make different sentiments, or make them in a way that they will serve a different purpose. Like for you, that could be a birthday card, a wedding card, anything like that. So Okay, that is all I have to share with you. I have got to get busy and start working on my succulent class for tomorrow morning. And thank you so much for being here. Enjoy your paper pumpkin and enjoy the rest of your day. And I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully, you guys can join me for my Sunday Live with MJ. All right. Thank you so much. Bye.